Welcome back to Between Two Fiduciaries. This week, Jimmy and Jeremy are going to be talking about what it takes to become a certified financial planner or a CFP. Well, there's four elements. They call it the four E's, right, Jimmy? You've got education, examination, experience, and ethics. These are the essential kind of linchpins about what it takes to become a certified financial planner, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's, I think one of the important parts that we'd like to get across in this video here is maybe, demystifying a little bit of the all the different credentials that exist in our industry. Why we believe very strongly that this is a gold standard, and look at these four E's. This very much is the foundation for why we believe the certified financial planner is the gold star of the industry for financial planners.
Agreed. I mean, there's a lot of potentially bad actors out there. There's a lot of folks who get into perhaps this industry of quote unquote investment advising without having a whole lot of background, right? You can get into your basic government testing, and it's not super hard, right? And it's not super rigorous. There aren't a lot of background checks really within it. CFP board is really switching the game up for that.
Definitely, yeah. The barrier to entries for a lot of these, for a lot of the financial planning or investment management designations there's a very low barrier to entry. CFP is quite the opposite of that.
Well, let's break it down a little bit. The first one's education. So you do need to have a bachelor's degree from an accredited college or university. So that's table stakes.
Yep, absolutely.
So you need to have that,
which is very different from a lot of other designations out there. To the point that we were making before, that's not the same for all other.
It is not
credentials.
Right. For the other ones, a lot of times you have to be a certain age. That's 18 or 21. You have to have maybe a high school degree.
Right. Exactly.
But very few of them require a bachelor's to begin with. And then beyond that, you're getting graduate level training. You actually have to go to one of their schools that they've accredited for the CFP curriculum, and they're going to put you through 6 or 7 different required steps. And in fact, it's 6. And I'll give you an example here of, I went to Kansas State University. They have a program that allows you to go through and complete your requirements for the CFP board. It has insurance planning, retirement planning, investments, personal income taxes, estate planning. At K-State, we did a capstone, which we actually did a full-fledged financial plan for actual clients. So it was pretty comprehensive, pretty tough stuff.
Well, and the thing that makes me really happy to see, knowing what you've gone through and being able to have a close view to what you've gone through. I have heard so many good things about Kansas State and the financial planning program that they have. To be able to see the materials that you had when you were going through the program, I was able to confirm what I had read in other publications about how strong the financial planning program is there.
I chose them. It was a synchronous program where you were actually getting taught by PhDs and oftentimes practicing CFPs as well. So it was really, really great. And I would just say my classmates were really smart, and it was a fantastic experience. Took about 18 months to complete that core curriculum there. So again, it's not something you do overnight.
So right now we're at a bachelor's degree and 18 months of study under PhDs and CFPs.
You got it. So then there's the examination, right? So after you sit and pass all of the coursework, you are then eligible to sit for an examination. Most people don't take it right away.
Yeah, it's so you and I have talked about this quite a bit. The exam has changed a lot over the years. It's continued to evolve, and the CFP has invested quite a bit of their resources into making the exam a real differentiator for the different candidates. And so it's just interesting. We joke. When I took it, it was a 2-day testing in person. I was sitting at Cobo Hall in Detroit. In a Scantron test, and again, it was 2 days of testing, and now there are parts to the exam here today that were not a part of the exam that I took.
That's right. So when I took it last year, Um, it had some of the same elements to it, of course, but it's constantly evolving, both technologically and from a content perspective. So, from a technological standpoint, it's 170 questions. It's done in 2 3 hour increments. You do take it in one day, um, and then it's a machine learning type of interactive on the computer, not a Scantron. And one of the things that's in there, just to point it out, is you've got 6 different moving parts and pieces that are all broken up into this knowledge domains. And then they incorporate case studies that really bring elements from all 6 of those in there. And that's a big portion of the examination now, too. It's much more realistic, lifelike, and a lot tougher actually for the person taking that exam too, to incorporate the knowledge from 6 different areas and have to scrub through a 5 page case study and then answer questions on it.
Absolutely. So, it's interesting because as somebody who had, I took the CPA first, right? Like, so I had an interesting route into finding my way here into financial planning. But as a CPA first, I found that exam to actually be easier than the CFP. They're very different in nature, and the nature of the exam is what I think makes it more difficult. That you have all these different parts that you need to be very educated on and tested, very thoroughly on each of these components. So when you think about the difference from tax planning to investment planning to risk management, those are very different topics. Where the CPA was maybe a little bit deeper in the material, so you would study for a couple months on end, but it was just on one topic, right? So like I knew tax law very, very well when I took the CPA exam. And that's all I was studying for 2 months, and then I take the test. This, you really have to be super well prepared to calculate standard deviation of investments and then understand estate tax and insurance law to go
Right.
along with it. So it's just the breadth of the material is quite difficult.
Very wide, very comprehensive. And like you said, you have to, just to sit for the examinations, or actually to appropriately prepare yourself for them, you're talking anywhere from 4 to 6 months worth of study time.
After your 18 months of
Yep.
study.
About 65% of the people who take it after that are passing.
Right.
It's a pass or fail examination. So it is very tough, rigorous, and a good measure of what one knows. Then we get into the experience category. And there's 2 different pathways here. There's a standard pathway that takes 3 years, 6,000 hours, and then there's apprenticeship pathway. So I am actually going under the apprenticeship pathway because you are a CFP and I'm actually able to learn under your tutelage. And it's still 2 years.
Yeah.
Still 2 years of solid financial planning work that has to be performed, has to be proven, has to be uploaded, has to be reviewed by the CFP board before one accomplishes the experience component.
Yeah, because as depressing as it may be, you spend all those hours and all that time and years of studying. You've got an undergraduate degree. You have the coursework that you had to complete to be eligible to take the exam. Then you study for the exam, you pass it. Now I'm ready to go. Well, not quite so fast.
Right.
Now you realize, yes, you've learned a lot in the textbook, but now you need to apply this into real life situations. And there is, fortunately, the CFP views that as, or views the importance of getting that experience before you're really able to get out there and use the marks, after your name and say, yes, I am a CFP. I have met all the criteria to qualify and hold myself out as a certified financial planner.
It's really great because it's not just book learning at that point, it's actual real life interface. All right, not to be forgotten here at all, the ethics. There's an ethics declaration, there's an agreement, there's an ongoing, there's also a fitness standards and background check that you have to go through. So, I mean, look, if you've got a checkered record, you are not going to become a CFP.
Yeah, they really do dig deep, and it's something that they take very seriously. That they want to make sure that CFPs out there are all being held to very high standards.
Absolutely, and then there's an ongoing ethics component and learning required to maintain the CFP marks every single year, and that's again sort of a unique thing. A lot of organizations will have professional development, but we have professional development. Also, we have an ethics component that we have to complete.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, the governing board is out there. Then once you are a CFP, you're living up to a very, very high level of standard. One of the things we'd like to point out here is that, the CFP Board of Standards is making sure the client's best interest is first. So that's the fiduciary standard, and that's one of the things that we really, really truly believe in when it comes to the CFP board and the CFP marks.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's, when we talk to prospects, we always have listed here are things, if we don't think we might be the right fit for somebody, or we're just talking about the general highlights and how would we advise somebody to start searching for the appropriate financial planner for them. You start to go through the criteria of like, fiduciary, some different components of our business, but the CFP is right there as one of the most critical elements for somebody who's looking to hire somebody to help them with their finances. Being a certified financial planner is at the top of the list.
So, folks, that does it. If you're looking for somebody who is going to manage your money and help you to earn, to really realize your goals, is the right way to put it, look for a CFP. That they're for real. They've got what it takes to be successful in helping you out. That's all we have for this week. Join us again next week. Thank you.